I like classical music because it helps me sleep. It evokes emotions, and I have played flute before and I had fun.
Classical music expresses emotion. When I listening to classical music, I feel like I am in a whole wide world. Feel very comfortable.
Firstly, we are going to talk about the definitions of classical music.
A European tradition during a period lasting approximately from 1750 to 1830, when forms such as the symphony, concerto, and sonata were standardized, often contrasted with baroque and romantic. Now, we are going to talk about the history of music.
Hello, everyone. Today we are going to briefly teach you the history of classical music of Baroque, Classical and Romanticism.
Baroque is from AD 1600 to AD 1700. Instrumental music became dominating within the Baroque and most major music forms were defined. Counterpoint was one in all the foremost forces of instrumental and also the vocal.
Classical is from AD 1750 to 1820. Haydn, Mozart and Beethoven are persons that represent this period. And they most likely write their music and live in Vienna. That is why the music in this period also called Viennese classical school and neoclassical music.
Romanticism is from AD 1820 to AD 1900. In this period, music is more focused on the expression of non-secular realm and the subjective feelings. The way of expressing about the natural features become more prominent. For creating music, they put more attention of using ethnic and folk music. So in the late 19th century, there are nationalist schools that take revitalizing the folk music as mission. There is also new instrumental solo genre in music, such as nocturne, ballad, fantasia, impromptu and so on. Now do you know more about classical
The following is
music?
going to be an interesting performances. It will show you that classical music is not as otherworldly as you think before. This performance were performed by some famous masters of classical music around the world. How was the video? Was it funny? Anyways, let us take a look about difference of classical and pop music.
Good morning, Sam. I have a question for you. What do you think about classical music and popular music?
I think that there are two types of music, they have different background, but compare classical music to popular music, it is a lasting value. If you make a metaphor for classical music, what would you say?
Let me think about it for a second. How about you? What would you say about it?
Classical music is like a girl that looks ordinary, but has great charm. You might not fall in love with her when you first see her. However, you might love her after you get along with her by time.
Ha 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 ha. That is a very funny metaphor, but that is very true. Ha 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 ha. Classical music is like an ordinary girl? What do you think? Anyways, let us check out what will happen when classical and pop music mixed into one.
life is so cool. Life is so cool. Oh yeah, from a different point of view.祝福，每个泪都变成珍珠，每盏灯都像许愿的蜡烛，每一天都值得庆祝。
You may want to ask, why do people mix pop and classical music into one song? That is because the Roman of classical music can mix with many different kind of music, such as rap, hip-hop, etc. It will become a new style of music by using the powerfulness of modern music to set off the gentleness of classical music. It is like a feast of music across time and space, very enjoyable.
When I was doing this project, my original project was about the Emperor possession in Tang Dynasty. I have started to research about it, but I found it not interesting, so I changed it to classical music. Throughout research, I have learned more about the history of music. Classical music is not as worldly as we think. Differences classical music and pop music can be mixed into one. After all this research, I still want to know about the instruments for classical music and more history about classical music. I hope you learned some new things about classical music today.